Wherever he went, Jesus taught people about God. He had a lot to say. Once someone tried to trip him up. A religious scholar asked Jesus if he could summarize God's law in just a few sentences. Jesus told the scholar it wasn't all that complicated. He said there are two significant policies: love God and love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Jesus had, of course, spoken wisely. It was sound doctrine. But not only that, it was also a nice sentiment. You can't object to telling people to love each other. It's probably the least offensive religious thing there is to say. But as it turns out, these commandments are, for many, a hard pill to swallow. Firstly, the people Jesus talks about loving, these neighbor types, aren't always the palatable, friendly sort. Someone asked Jesus who this neighbor was that he kept going on about, and he told them, real love is being with people you don't like and staying with them, serving them, sacrificing for them. And these neighbors aren't just the ones who live down the road in their own houses with their own family. Some of them come from far away, needing a local place to stay, and they require a fair amount of support. Some don't speak the language of the land or know about its culture. But according to Jesus, these neighbors belong in our neighborhood, not some offshore holding pen, but on the same island. The love Jesus talks about does not respect our boundaries, yet we have set some firm limits in our day. Anything that asks for a compromise on personal freedom, even when only modestly, offends our contemporary sensibilities. The rights of an individual are paramount. However, Jesus talks of living for others, putting others' needs ahead of our own for the common good. A lot of people can see that, up to a point. One day a man stopped Jesus and asked him what he must do to get eternal life. Jesus told him, don't murder, don't commit adultery, don't steal, don't lie, honor your father and mother, and love your neighbor as you do yourself. The man told Jesus he had all that covered. And Jesus said to him that if he really wanted to give it his all, he should sell his possessions and give the money to the poor, and then come and follow him. That man went away disappointed. It was a step too far. In today's gospel, when Jesus asked his disciples if they were offended by what he was saying, it wasn't out of nowhere. His disciples were discovering that Jesus' teachings were difficult, exceedingly so for some. And after this, many turned back and no longer went about with him. It was too much, asking people to put themselves, all they'd worked and hoped for, at risk. Christianity, at its most authentic, as Jesus taught it, flies in the face of many things we as a society hold dear. It isn't based on self-reliance or the belief that hard work pays off, nor is it the dogged pursuit of individual achievement and self-fulfillment. God's love is unconditional. It is so lavish and unrelenting. It can be excessive for some, overwhelming. The extent to which God is willing to go, the amount God is ready to give, the welcome God offers is reckless and extravagant. So, when Christianity seems normal, fits into what's safe and agreeable, that should make us take notice. The words of eternal life are not ordinary. They are strange. They are provocative and impertinent. Therefore, if we see expressions of love that seem wasteful and foolish, if people acting in the name of God offend with their kindness, That's probably a sign somebody is getting something right.